Hey, so I have referenced William Zinsser's On Writing Well a few times. It's a book that I recently taught in my Skill of Writing class, and I felt like it did such a good job, even though it's geared for nonfiction writers, also helping fiction writers as well. So one of the things that he talks about is a chapter on voice and finding authentic voice. So Zinsser says a strong authorial voice is achieved when the writer believes in their own identity and opinions, writes for themselves. They call it an audience of one, prioritizing their own enjoyment and perspective, sounds confident, natural, and sincere, the opposite of sounding stiff or forced, and lets their personality, warmth, and humor come through. So with my students, I shared 3 excerpts from my favorite authors when it comes to voice, people who I think really fit this, and then I had them choose which one was their favorite or which one they felt like fit that definition of voice the best. So I want to share those 3 passages with you guys and let you hear these awesome examples of voice. Because I think to be a better writer, you need to be a reader, right? Because when we're reading people are doing something well, it helps us because we can observe what exactly they do specifically and incorporate some of those things into our own writing. So passage 1 from Bob Goff, Love Does. He says, living a life fully engaged and full of whimsy and the kind of things that love does is something most people plan to do, but along the way, they just kind of forget. Their dreams become one of those we'll go there next time deferrals. The sad thing is, for many, there is no next time because passing on the chance to cross over is an overall attitude toward life rather than a single decision. My second passage is from Donald Miller, A Million Miles in a Thousand Years is the name of his book. He says, if you watched a movie about a guy who wanted a Volvo and worked for years to get it, you wouldn't cry at the end when he drove off the lot testing the windshield wipers. You wouldn't tell your friends you saw a beautiful movie or go home and put a record on to think about the story you'd seen. The truth is, you wouldn't remember that movie a week later, except you'd feel robbed and want your money back. Nobody cries at the end of a movie about a guy who wants a Volvo, but we spend years actually living those stories, and we expect our lives to feel meaningful. The truth is, if what we choose to do with our lives won't make a story meaningful, it won't make a life meaningful either. So the next author is Tracy Nicole. She wrote the Tracy in LA Newsletters 2010, a memoir, sort of. Tracy's a friend of mine, and honestly, she's one of my favorite writers as well. This is her excerpt that I chose. It says, I'm acting, more like I sometimes am going on auditions once in a while. For those of you that think I'm making it big because my face was all over Glee for 5 seconds, or because I shot an amazing scene with Dakota Fanning a while ago for The Runaways, coming out March 19th, holla, those were extras jobs that accidentally became awesome. Not to undermine them because most of the awesome things in my life are accidental, and I might just as well accidentally make it big for real at some point, but that's that. So if you want to get better at voice, I definitely recommend checking out those 3 authors. Let me know what authors you think have really good examples of authentic voice.